Alright, Pokemon fans, now I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos since the Masters 8 is the talk of the town and this channel needs to be revitalized. I don't think I've done Pokemon content since, Ash battled Kukui in the Alola League preliminary match at the end of the league where Ash won. And those videos did well, so hopefully these about the Masters 8 do well as, well. But this video is talking about the painful confirmation that was, pretty much established in the episode last week where Paul returned. I love that episode, one of my favorites of the series, where Ash made it clear that he is only using his Journey's team to battle in the Masters 8. Pikachu, of course. Gengar, who can Gigantamax. Surfetch, Dracovish, Dragonite, and Lucario, which can Mega Evolve and use like an Aura Spirit Bomb like attack. What did he call it before? Like a Gigantamax Aura Sphere or something? Now, listen. I can't say I love his Journeys team, only because they haven't really gotten much screen time. Heck, even his Hoenn team, not counting Sceptile because that was Battle Frontier, but Grovyle, Swellow, Torkoal, Glalie, Corphish, those Pokemon I feel were fleshed out more during the advanced generation than his Journeys team was fleshed out during Pokemon Journeys. An interesting lineup, but I don't feel we have enough in terms of character. Like, remember, prior to Evolution, Farfetch was disappeared, just gone from the series for a while. Like, there was a major gap between losing to B's Hawlucha when, Ash and B battled for the first time, to when it reappeared to battle the dude's Girder, and then he was introduced to his new rival, that guy's Gallade. But I just don't like the idea of Ash Ketchum being in the biggest tournament of his life against fellow champions, and he's only using the team that's arguably his least experienced. Yes, he beat Iris. He beat Elite Four Dresna. These Pokemon are champion level. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. And this isn't me hating on the team, but I think that the Masters 8 should definitely have been a tournament where Ash rotated his team with his reserves. Due to the fact that, I don't want to harp on this, but when Journeys first started, I was actually excited because, Ash is traveling around to all the previous regions and Galar sometimes. This will be like an extended Battle Frontier series where we'll see Ash rotate his team around. We'll see some of his older Pokemon. He'll catch new Pokemon. And when the PWC was introduced, it's like, oh snap, now he's going to be battling, all these characters from the past, gym leaders, rivals, Elite Four members who he hasn't battled before and whatnot. But that really wasn't the case until we got to like the upper ranks, and even then, the episodes are only like one and dones. They weren't like two-parters, and a lot of those battles really didn't get treated with the level of importance that they should have, because Journeys has been a truly episodic show. It felt, for me personally, I don't watch the English dub, aside from like maybe one or two episodes I feel like are worth watching. There is the Japanese version, but I don't even watch every episode. I look at Bulbapedia and Cerebi for like the highlights, because most of these episodes are filler. And I don't really care about Project Mew all that much. Chloe is kind of an afterthought, and like I said, where most episodes goes just catching Pokemon. If you literally condense only the episodes that focus on Ash and his goal of the Journey series, it's only about 30-ish episodes of that, and it's really sad because I feel like there's been better balance between Ash and his traveling companions and their goals in other seasons. Looking at Diamond and Pearl in Advance, it felt like the right amount of Ash-focused episodes and his traveling Pokemon coordinator, friends at the time, whether it be May or Dawn. But when it comes to the Journey series, I don't think I've ever skipped so many episodes since Johto. And Johto is the series that's known for filler. But with Journeys, there are just so many episodes I feel I could be, just skip and I wouldn't miss a beat. Aside from, Go caught like 10 Pokemon who will get maybe random cameo appearances here and there. Ash feels like an afterthought in his own show. I know the title is Pokemon, but we all know it's Ash and Pikachu. So with his Journeys team, it just doesn't feel right to see them winning battles against veteran trainers. And they're taking like 5 or 10 super effective moves, but they keep getting up like they're getting affection boosts like in the game, and then winning with only 1 or 2 attacks that are sometimes not very effective against the opponents. So to see Ash in battles with this team against champions, I feel is going to be a tough pill to swallow. Like, don't get me wrong, I know the anime and the games are not the same, because in the games, you're a new trainer, you just started on your journey, and somehow you climb the ranks and meet the Elite Four, and then you beat the champion of said region. And it's like, well, Jeremy, isn't Ash doing the same thing? No, he is a well-established trainer, he is a champion, but for him to just catch these Pokemon and only use these during the entire tournament, which I thought would have been cool if we would have seen, like, some of his Pokemon from Alola or, Oak's Lab participate in matches leading up to the Masters 8. Hey, even if you wanted to have Ash use specifically his Journeys team against Leon, that would have been okay. But I feel like fans all want the same thing. This is Ash against the #1 trainer in the world, so he should use his #1 squad. I mean, look at Tobias. He used Torkoal and Swellow and Gibble. Powerful Pokemon, but they don't make the top 6 list of anybody. I don't think anybody who said, hey, here's the ideal team that Ash should use against Leon, or Ash's best team in general. I never see those 3, so I don't know why he chose to use them against Tobias. But in regards to the PWC Masters 8, I think for me, Leon aside, the one battle I've always been afraid of is Ash versus Cynthia, because if you go back to arguably the best PWC match that Ash has had, Ash versus Volkner, the way he won that battle with 10 million volt Thunderbolt against an Electivire that has Motor Drive, which utilized the ability in the same battle, and he won. Even though that makes 0 sense. From the show perspective, I mean, he was fighting a Sinnoh gym leader, and during Diamond and Pearl, there were a lot of off-the-wall tactics. And technically, Electivire is known for being one of the best, the generators or conductors amongst Electric-type Pokemon. So yeah, the Z move overloaded Electivire. And I guess it would have made more sense if in the games or anime it's like, this is a special Z move by Tapu Koko, who is like a god. So basically, the Z move, like in, the games where certain moves can nullify abilities, yeah, this attack is going to damage even Pokemon who are immune to electricity, granted their ability, like Volt Absorb on Jolteon or Motor Drive in this case on Electivire, but that isn't established. It's just that even if you go back to that battle, Ash and Pikachu really weren't backed into a corner. They were doing pretty well against Electivire. And then Ash just looked at Pikachu and he's like, you want to use electric moves, don't you? Here, Z move time. And then they went. And I'm like, when Cynthia was said to be in the Masters 8, and I'm like, okay, we're going to have Ash versus Cynthia, and I don't know how in the world he's going to beat her. Especially with the Journey squad. Again, Ash's biggest weapon isn't plot armor, it's his unpredictability and his randomness in battle, which again is established plot armor. I don't care what you say, I still do not buy the whole counter using, when Ash's Lycanroc's countered Gladion's counter to win the Alola League. But then when I thought about it, shouldn't it have been illegal when Gladion used one of those discs on his Silvally to change its typing to fire during the Alola League when he fought Gladion? And I'm like, wait, that should be illegal. So I'm like, you know what, Gladion, take that loss. But essentially, I don't think it's believable that Ash's Journeys team can beat these champions. I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. It just does not make sense to me. And yes, I know they trained with his veterans in the last episode, but this is the kind of stuff we should have been seeing throughout the entire Journey season, where Ash either goes to Oak's lab and he's training his new Pokemon, or he rotates his team where it's like, hey, Draco Bitch, let me bring in some of my dragon Pokemon to help you out, learn new moves and battle and train. And thankfully, we have seen Ash training for the Masters 8 a couple of times, even if it's off screen, like when Go went to catch the Reggie Elekey and whatnot, and then he made Ash stay behind to train. So thankfully, unlike the Indigo League, Ash isn't wasting time before the tournament. He is training, but I think we should have had just a handful of episodes where Ash is training instead of, okay, you all learned a couple of new moves, so I'm going to go to the Masters 8. It's like, no, man, we really need to train these Pokemon a little bit more before going to the tournament. So he's fighting Steven Stone, but I'll do a separate video where I talk about my thoughts on the lineup for the tournament, which I do feel is a bit disappointing. But regardless, what do you think? I know fans like myself thought that Ash would be using some of his best of the best to fight the Masters 8 instead of strictly his Journeys team, but sadly, we're getting what we're getting. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.